Hi, I'm Melissa.
I'm Karen Itwin with Hypnosis, and Melissa is going to tell us a little bit about her experience flying after she used hypnosis for the fear of flying.
So I got to fly home back up from Milwaukee to Minnesota for the first time in 5 years, and I have been scared to death to get on an airplane, so much to the point that I would drive up to the airport, visit the airport, and then turn around and go home and never get on an airplane. It was a little challenging to fly out from Milwaukee to Minnesota. However, on the way back, I decided to come home early. I ended up at the airport. I sat 3 hours at the airport, which that would have never happened before. I would have been freaked out. But I just really sat there. A couple of days prior to me traveling, I listened to the recording that I'd gotten from Karen. And I just listened to her voice, listened to the meditations, and subconsciously, even when I was getting nervous, I had placed my finger to my thumb. I like crystals and stuff too, so I did have my one crystal that calls out to me, and it happens to be blue, which in my session happened to, Karen mentioned about the color blue. I thought of the color blue. The really cool thing is that on the way home, not only was there some technical glitches and we were stuck on the tarmac, we ended up having to be de-iced. We flew through turbulence and in the clouds. Previously, I would have been like, oh my gosh, having panic attacks, freaking out, and just being like, no, get me off, get me off, get me off. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. I was totally chilled so much that I put my coat on and over. I looked out the window, I took pictures. I mean, yes, it's a quick flight from Minneapolis to Milwaukee, but still, regardless of it, just to be able to have that experience of like, oh, I'm just sitting in the car, like I'm just driving down the highway, not a big deal. And looking out the window and taking pictures and just being in that moment was so exhilarating and thrilling, and just to be able to do it. And it was so amazing for me to go home because I haven't been home in 5 years since my dad passed away. So taking this trip was really important. I needed to go home, and I needed to see my dad's grave, and I needed to see a couple of my cousins and see my mom. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of Karen. So that was really awesome. So I'm really excited. I'm so thrilled. Now I can hopefully make it to San Diego in May.